Oh, hey, Dom, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Eric? What's going on with you
Hey.
tonight?
Oh, nothing much. Some crazy weather. Like it wants to be warm, it wants to be chilly. How about you?
Same here. It started out cold this morning. That's pretty nice outside now, starting to cool off again, but it's up and down. Rain coming the next, I don't know, forever days.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, kind of crazy. I don't know. Doesn't want to make up its mind, and you get all excited for snow, and then it disappears, and so who knows what's going on? Just the state of affairs as things were,
yeah.
but yeah, a lot of great stuff going on. I mean, we've been pretty busy. I've been seeing a lot of you Head and Shoulders, on the screen and doing a lot of stuff. And it's been a while since we've been together at this little show called PETE&C. And I don't know if we really had a chance to really like chat about it.
No, it has been super hectic. In fact, today I was at another conference,
Hmm.
and so I've been running around between state board meetings, conferences. We've had some cool special guests on here. Haven't had a chance to really sit down and decompress and review PETE&C.
Well, I think that means we got a lot to talk about, and I think it's time.
It is time for the PAECT pod.
Let's hit it. All right, welcome to the PACT pod. We've got episode number 22. My name is Eric Verno, and I'm the fortune of being the vice president of PACT. And with me, I have
Dom Salvucci. I am the regional director of the Southwest region of PAECT. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. And we're gonna call this the PETE&C repeat. And we're gonna work on going over and talking about what the PETE&C event was all about and how it went. Amazing stuff. So, well, why don't you give us a quick summary? Where was it held this year? And just quick little opening thoughts there, Dom.
With new location at Kalahari Conference Center and Resort. More conference center than resort. Many people did not see the resort section of Kalahari because PETE&C was action-packed, information-packed. Out there in the Poconos. New location, kind of crazy. A little bit further out for me, but great location.
Yeah. So every so often the PETE&C board, they look at exploring some different locations, and like I said, we were up in the Poconos and beautiful. I mean, the view outside of our room was if it was full-time summer, we'd be seeing everybody swimming and having a good time at the outdoor water park. But when you're at 20-degree weather, 30-degree weather, not too many people at the water park. In fact, water was drained. So,
yes.
But definitely a neat little venue. And, and if it was somebody's first time there, they didn't have to really worry about getting lost because you kind of had the hotel. You walk to the end, go down the elevators, and then the convention center started where, our pride and joy and our love, the PETE&C conference is normally held at the sweetest place on earth in Hershey. And the lodge, if you're not used to it, could be a little tricky.
I one time I got lost going from one area to another. Half hour later, I wasn't very far away from where I started.
Yeah, we all have a similar story like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's bad because I teach geography, U.S. history. That was kind of a bad thing for me.
Yeah, not too good, especially when you get to go back and share those stories with your kids. Hey, guess what happened to me? So, yeah, well, so there's a lot of things going on. So we kind of as we talk about this tonight, we're really going to just spend some time talking about it. And of course, at the end, we're going to have what everybody expects. We always have our what at the end there, Dom?
Tech tips.
Oh, we got our tech tips, our tech notes. So we'll be cranking those at the end. But we're going to kind of break this down into kind of chapters. We're going to talk about our pre-con. Then we're going to get into talk about the speakers a little bit, the PACT booth in and of itself, because we have a big presence there. And then sessions we attended and even sessions that we hosted together. So, all right, what happened special at the pre-con event there, Dom?
Oh, I've tried to repress this from my memory. It was a rough one. We had two teams of KTI stars. The new members. Yeah, something's going on. I have a slow internet connection here. I can't quite see what you're doing.
The
new KTI stars versus the veteran KTIs, and we had a little tech slam.
Yeah, a little competition. The rookies, the newbies versus the vets. And Dom and I had the pleasure, if you saw the picture that we had posted for the show, That was Dom and I in our glory, dressed up, getting ready to come out. So I kind of had the retired, not wanting to give up the lifestyle of being a football player, fake muscles, old, vintage 90s jersey, whistle. And I wasn't faking this part, but because of a bad hip, walking with a cane, even though Dom accused me of faking it just to get people's votes. And then
worked.
Dom had, what was your regalia? What was your look like there, Dom?
I just pulled clothes I had out of the closet. bright yellow, fluorescent yellow shirt with Coach on the back, the black coaching shorts. And I had something wrong with my hand that day. I had a little wrist sleeve on, trying to balance out the pity votes. Didn't quite work from what I understand.
Yeah.
Whistle and purple cap for KTI.
I was gonna say, all of a sudden your hand started hurting you when you happened to be at a Walmart looking for some other things. And there just happens to be a little wristband here I could throw on. Yeah, I was kind of dig real quick. I know I have a picture buried somewhere of us. But yeah, so that was definitely a fun event, what we got to do. And just tossing around here, what's really cool is one of our members had connections with the NFL and was able to get actually used in a game, San Diego Chargers at the time, now the Los Angeles Chargers, football, and it's got the KTI sticker. So this gets to be the winning coach, got to keep this. So I definitely have this. It'll be behind me as always in every pod, posted up here with all the KTI stuff, proudly poised, so Dom can look at that every time we have a pod. But like I said, so they came up, they talked about, they had about 20 minutes to share about technology tools, share about some things that they had going on. And at the end, everybody voted. And based on the votes, we
learned
it was a close battle.
Out of all that we learned that day, and there was a lot of information given, I think the biggest takeaway is cane beats wrist support.
All day.
Paper, rock, scissors, cane versus wrist support. You have to learn.
Oh, yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, spot. Yes. Nothing on Kane. All right. Bring in the old man Kane and you're good. Yes. But, even though in that event, Dom, truly we all won. But specifically, I see we have a little note here.
I have to say, the new KTI stars, some of them were a little hesitant to get up in front of people. They rocked it. I give them credit. It was, they didn't back down from the veterans, and the veterans have been there. We had Papa Keystone and a lot of, lead learners that have been there for, even though some of them haven't aged past 29, they've been around a while. And, it was great. The newer stars held their own and had a lot of information, and they presented well. And I'm looking forward to seeing them be active moving into the future. It was great.
Oh, definitely. They did a phenomenal job. You are correct. And really in the end, there really was truly no considered to be loser. They all did a great job. And here, let me switch my screens here, because we just have to get a chance to show this. So let me stop this screen share. Let me start a new one, just because part of the effect was the fact that we were dorked up so badly.
Hey, that's what I normally wear around the house.
That is true.
No costume for me.
So our examining with stickers and having some fun here is our what do we have set up here? Yep. But here's the actual picture before it was tunified. So we got the towel, got the whole deal, and looking pretty spiffy there. So yeah, definitely good stuff. All right, but again, truly, even though that segment I did win, there was another competition going on behind the scenes that, unfortunately, I was begging upon other regions to step up, because, again, even though my fake cane didn't count as a second set of legs for me, we should have played like Chariots of Fire there as he's raising it. Every year we have a thing called the Race of the Regions, and all the regions able to compete, do different things. And unfortunately, due to record-keeping errors, we weren't able to figure out who the winner was this year, and we're going to move on to the next segment of the show. Wait.
Four-time champ. We needed Ric Flair's music. Space Odyssey, baby.
Oh, man. Yep, I know. So, yes, the Southwest region retains their title, and at least I don't have to. That's not the only chair I get to see in the background now during the drop, so that's all right.
I do have to say, and I hate coming clean on this, but I have to come clean. It wasn't confidence that made me leave this at home. I switched packages, switched bins, moving stuff, and I'm glad we retained it because I forgot it at home. But we kept it.
He was sweating it out. He was nervous because, yeah, even though as VP, as regional director, we don't know the results. The people who are running it, they keep that information and they let us know at the end. So, yes, it was a glorious moment for the Southwest. And Dom Salvucci in particular because he gets to keep that shoe.
This is not my shoe. This is the region's shoe. This was a team effort, and the team rocked it. As
Listen,
you say,
for the record,
PAECT is only as good as
its members. Yes,
and
its members
stepped it up.
They did. The downside is there's somebody in one of our regions looking for a right shoe. They only have a left Nike shoe, and they've been missing their right shoe for 4 years right now, Dom. That's the problem. So there's been a couple complaints coming in. And Dom cut out. So he'll be getting back here shortly. So the other scenario, the other thing that we had going on was with the pre-cut. So we had all that information going. Hey, buddy. All right, and he's back.
And I'm back. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
On the computer screen.
So the other thing with that, we roll into our different speakers that we had. I know we had Ben Smith to talk about program. We had Ann Noonan on to talk about the speakers, and the speakers were phenomenal. All right, what did you take away from the speakers, Dom?
Oh, from day one, it was incredible. Starting out with, empathy and compassion, and going through, we started the first day with Department of Education, Educational Technology.
Yep.
Great speaker. Talked about, the programs and taking care of ourselves and the whole process, getting empathy on day two. And then we had Coy Bowles on, rocked it for over 121 minutes of talking with Coy. He finished that on Wednesday. 3 keynotes that knocked it out of the park every day.
Yeah, it was amazing. You had like your AI talk, your different things, your SEL kind of talk, and then you finish with that inspiration. Every year, I think that's one thing at PETE&C. It's so strong. Dr. Ann Noonan, one of our PAECT team members, does such an amazing job as part of that board, researching, vetting, and pulling in those speakers. And that really, there's always a lot of buzz. It really is just like you leave that morning session, that keynote, pumping, fist pumping and ready to go. And then just, you're rolling over into just amazing session after session after session.
Yeah. And a lot of times I've skipped sessions I wanted to see because I wanted to follow up with a keynote because they do have after sessions. And I know on day 2 and day 3, the keynotes, they're both authors, had books. They did book signings. They took pictures, interacted with attendees. It was great.
Yeah. Just amazing, really is. And that is a great tip there, just to remind people that when the speakers are done, we always ask them, and for the most part, we get them to be okay with it. But hold on a second, I gotta send a message here. But it's always just important to know that if you want to meet them, whether it's a book signing, whether it's to ask them further questions with a smaller setting, it's just an amazing opportunity to really have that one-on-one time. So, I definitely love that ability to be able to go back there and reflect, or if you have a question about something they said. So that definitely is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. And over the years, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, over the years, I've gone to those sessions. Some of my mentors, people that I've only interacted with on Twitter, but I followed on Twitter, sometimes through webinars, they've been guest speakers. And, It's always a good time to get to meet them. People I haven't met have been very nice, interact with us, talk with us. And that's the one nice thing about the keynotes. They're there because they care about education. And, they're always very gracious, I should say, with working with, people and answering questions and holding discussions with us.
Yeah. So it's just really, definitely great stuff in the way they had that going on. And then, so what was awesome is, when you left that location right outside of that main auditorium, you rolled into the PAECT booth. And there we have volunteers, members, we have board members, we have regional board members, we have any member, is willing to volunteer to kind of man the booth, share with people about what PAECT is, what our organization does. And this year we got asked to, every year PETE&C has a free giveaway that you just bring your ticket up, you get to give it in. And this year we got asked to give, cups. Like last year we have a cup. You've seen Dom drinking his cup before. And we like to have a lot of fun with anything competitive. You can't tell Dom and I are competitive. I know. It's okay. We'll just let you know now. And they had the cups were black on the outside. They had different colors on the inside. And this is the blue one, which I described as the winning cup all week, that if people chose this, winners, they had the right thought, they had great taste. And when we said we would take those, I think you were there when they rolled in with the skid loader.
Yes.
With a pallet full of boxes taller than I am. I don't know how many. There's several hundred. I don't even know how many exactly.
Oh, more than that, because there was I don't know how many dozen in a box.
Right. So probably 300, 400, 500 what we were given. And all the different affiliate booths were given mugs to be able to share, so people can just have, the ability to pop in anywhere. But, as our nature is, we like to have fun. We were making people guess the number, do this or that. And definitely drew a crowd. And I'm pleased to say, in a unofficial, never spoken before competition that was just in, I know a lot of the PAECT members at the table, just in our minds, we did win that competition. We gave out every one of our mugs, the winning mug blue, and then also the winning mug green. It eventually concede because we only had green ones left, and I had to make sure people still pick those up. Even so much so when other booths found out we gave all of ours away, they sent stuff down to us. So
and we were giving away the excess from others.
That we were
rather Machiavellian, giving away that which is not ours.
Exactly. And what's the great thing at the booth is, one, find out information. I know back in 2007, I visited the booth to say, hey, who is my regional director? Because I've heard of this organization. I have no idea. And they were able to say, well, it's going to be, oh, wait a minute. Here he comes now, walking down the hall. And I was able to connect right away. Yeah. And then been a part of the organization, and going from just a member to being on a regional board to the regional director, and then into vice presidency. And since 2007. But so that's a great opportunity for you to connect, share ideas. And then we also had giveaways.
Yes.
You had a pretty special one on the table there, Dom.
Pancake bot.
I know.
That was a good one. We had with the pancake bot, we had a Chromebook. You brought something that, even though it wasn't Apple, I was interested in it.
The Meta Quest. The 3D. So that was pretty cool.
We had some books.
Subscriptions, books. Yeah. So a lot of great stuff that you were able to come in and get some tickets for, and have a chance to win those. And so really exciting, and just that great opportunity to give back to our members. And it was definitely, this is the first time in a few years that I put a few tickets in. I didn't win a single thing, but that's all right. Just smiles on the faces that those who knew that they got the prize that I was really wanting was the best.
The golden shoe. I got the golden shoe.
No. I was if I could put tickets in for it, I'd try. I don't think they'd let that work. They wouldn't let that count. But
I didn't. I do have a posted here that from the KTI pre-conference. It said, "Don't tell Eric, but we didn't want to give you all the trophies." So.
But again, if we get the handwriting analyst to confirm whose handwriting that might be, I'm pretty sure it's going to come up Salvucci all day long.
I was told not to show it to you, so I can't show you the writing to verify it.
The banner that was going on, we had clipboards to make us look official. And when I went up and presented, I let everybody know that I was taking notes and Dom was playing tic-tac-toe. So Then he decided to draw some pictures and make some ransom notes. So it was great. It was a good time. So how about
a lot of events? You know, PACT
Yeah.
had several events along with all the events that go along with PETE&C itself.
Yeah.
So get rolling into the big change up because for some reason the NFL wanted to cut in on all of our fun and games. They moved the Super Bowl. I think it was done intentionally. I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but
can't confirm or deny. Allegedly.
I think I saw it on a TikTok somewhere.
Oh, okay.
You know that you know they cut in on our shenanigans and they moved the Super Bowl to Sunday. So we had after pre-con, they had a tailgate for attendees. They had food. You could watch the game there at the hotel. Then roll into Monday, and usually Sunday nights we have a hospitality session where vendors step up and have a meet and greet for attendees. That was moved to Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, PACT, we moved our usual Monday dinner. We had a different type of activity. If you'd like to talk about that, Eric.
Oh, so we had our PhD banquet.
Yes, which is a different format this year.
Yeah, it was. Our regional directors came together and we said to them, hey, we want to make this interactive. We want to have you go around. We want to have you, mixing people up. That way, Northeast people are getting to know Southwest people and just mixing all of our regions and even some of our out of states that did come into town to come to the show. So it was really neat. You guys did baskets from your different regions that people were able to, as they came in, they were able to put their names in. I attended. I'm able to win this, and some pretty cool stuff there. And then we even had a visit. All right, let me pull it up here. All right, we even had a surprise visit from a gentleman many people may be familiar with. Let's see, he lost his picture.
These are all the award winners.
Yep, and then a little Ben Franklin action here. So he'll be actually appearing at ISTE, a little preview of one of our shows coming down the road. But then, on the main website, there's a lot of the different award winners that we had. That part of our banquet that they're presented with, and even a lot of our sponsors that we talk about, and we, just thank them for coming alongside of PACT and helping us do the work that we do. That's really making our lives of our members better. So there's one of our venture sponsors with EduSpire and a lot of great groups. So, So just a great time to be able to get together, have some food, fellowship, share, talk, laugh. Got to do a little bit of that intro with Ben coming on dressed as Ben Franklin, just to kind of talk about, some things that we have coming up this summer because ISTE's in Philadelphia. It just really is an amazing time that you can honor people who, people that we don't know, nominated, members that nominated people. So we learn about them when we hear their story. We hear about, what it was that moved that person to nominate them. And so it's just an amazing job. Our awards committee that comes together and has the awards. I think this year had the most awards given. We have say there's 10 awards. I don't know the exact number. Sometimes we'll have 6, 7, there's 1 or 2 that we don't have anybody apply for. I'm pretty sure it was a full docket this year. So it was amazing. Yep. And then one cool thing is ISTE does allow us, since we're an ISTE affiliate, that we have a Making It Happen award that we can give every year. And Lori Sheldon, a longstanding member, a longstanding board member, executive board member for many years. So she was the recipient this year. So very well deserved, very well earned. And it was just awesome to see the faces when they smile, walking up to that stage. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it was really good. Jim Gates won an award at PETE&C. One of my mentors from way back is Classrooms of the Future initiative. Lori, I've known since Classrooms of the Future, and before that, a lot of great people were honored at PETE, at PACT. It's nice getting to see everybody statewide. It's one of the few times we get together and get to see everybody statewide beyond just our board meetings. And getting to see those guys honored was really, it was a privilege.
Yeah, really is. It's really, really awesome. And then we go from there, and sessions, man. I attended several sessions with more my focus on math, my focus on some science with the new standards rolling out. And there was a lot of sessions on AI, learning about ChatGPT, Tome, some of the different websites that are out there, you know, so it's really an interesting landscape. I've been having some fun investigating and exploring that, but just talk about a great time to hear from Sam Fessich was the one session I went to. So you're hearing from collegiate professors, you're hearing from classroom teachers. And not only is it just like, you know, you're sitting there and hearing about, but you're learning about the application. What's the pedagogical, you know, application? How are you able to use it? And honestly, in every session I was able to attend, I was kind of limited with as far as moving around with the cane and stuff, but with every session I was able to attend, I pretty much walked right into the classroom that following Thursday when I got back, and I had immediately something in every class that I was able to kind of kick in new and then work on planning it for the following week. So that's what I really love about PETE&C. Yeah. What about you, Don?
Yeah.
What about your sessions?
I hit a couple sessions on like producing projects, did some ideas with writing and student note taking. There were some sessions I went to, which it sounds silly, but you know, some of the tools that have been around for a very long time come back again, or they change over time. And you know, we have some of our PAECT members do Girls Gone Google, but there are other people doing you know, tools to facilitate using Google, using tools I use in the classroom, and shortcuts and tricks on being able to work through information to make my life easier, give my students better feedback. And I focused on that, making the connections, you know, giving the students feedback and ways to make that easier for me. So I focused on those sessions. And then some sessions I couldn't make because there were a ton of good sessions, and some of them met at the same time. Some met whenever we had our presentation, then I did a poster session after. So I'm still in the process of going back through the recorded PETE&C sessions. Every session was recorded, and going through and revisiting some of the sessions I wanted to get to, but I couldn't get to.
Yeah. And that's a point I was going to make, you know, so I'm glad you hit that too. So yeah, so even if you had things that were double booked, or maybe, you know, you had it written down and you just got into a great conversation and you just, you know, I call it those brain fart moments. You're like, oh man, I was supposed to be at this session. You weren't making there. You didn't make it there. Or, you know, we'll talk about the vendor hall here in a second, but even again, you get in conversation there, you're able to log onto the website. You're able to go back and watch the video, get access to the notes if the presenter did put them in there. And if they don't have them there, emails readily available, shoot a message. Most of them are, you know, very happy to do it. I know in some years in the past, I forgot to put them up there. I got an email. Oh, that's right. Send it to that person, then get onto the website and add them. So yeah, so that's really a great feature. It's not necessarily advertised so much, but they do open that, keep that live for so many days. I'm not exactly sure how many days they keep it open, but there will be a time where they will eventually then close that out. So, but yeah, that's definitely cool. I know the PAMES group and Jared Mader and his crew and Ben Smith, they do work hard to make sure that everything's recorded and put up timely. So yeah, that's definitely a great feature. So, and then of course we had our session.
Yes.
Yeah, from creation to curation, huh?
The podcast got a lot of great feedback. Appreciate the feedback we got from people. People gave us tips. People, you know, have emailed us about, have you thought of this? Have you tried that? And we appreciate the feedback. I did a poster session on presenting or publishing student work on the internet for free. A lot of good conversations. I personally, I like doing the poster sessions for presenting. Our podcast isn't a poster session. It's not set up for that. But whenever I do presentation, I like the poster session because people walk through, they'll stop, they'll talk, they'll carry on conversations, and you have time to sit and talk with them, which I like. So that was another concept. There was the poster sessions besides the formal presentations, where you could wander around, see what people are doing, carry on a deeper conversation, because it's usually one-on-one or, you know, one person with a couple other people talking, so you're not in a full room, and you don't feel like you're taking the presenter's time or taking up the time of the whole room. You can interact on an individual basis with people. Yeah, and you were checking out some other things going on there too.
Yeah. So definitely that opportunity to get in and have those conversations and talk, and you get with the people that you've kind of already been working with and doing some different stuff with. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. And then of course, you know, you get to go to that vendor hall and get our favorite thing, a whole bunch of tchotchkes. They're always great. So yeah. So but the fun one was they had a poster maker. So I was able to go in and get a picture of myself and Ben Franklin. We turned into a poster
Nice.
to present to Ben Franklin to, hopefully one day see it in his office, because I know it's exactly where he wants to put it. So, yeah. But no, I mean, a lot of great, you go back, you see people that we've known, get to see our sponsors that we get to
Yes.
share in the show. Got to chat with Bloom, got to chat with Go Guardian, Max Cases. I didn't make it over. I did talk a little bit with DRC. And I don't know, I think did you get a chance to talk to ClassLink during that event? Yep. And get to see them. And then I know Howard Solutions is a new organization that stepped up, that the conversation started at PETE. So
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely great talking to our sponsors, and then friends of ours who've gone from the classroom to working with organizations and companies. And it's just it's kind of like a homecoming when you hit certain aisles with the vendors, but it's always great talking with them and having those conversations and seeing how things are going in their lives.
Yeah, a lot, tchotchkes, conversations, taking a look at new products, some things that come out, even companies that, like I said, been around for a while and they have stuff they're looking at, reach out, and sometimes they give you away some major giveaways. I know some people walked away with some equipment from vendors who aren't our sponsors, but they were like, we don't want to take this back here, please. Try this out in your classroom. Let us know how it works. And, it's a good way to get resources, try them out and see what works in your classroom, see how you can use them.
Yeah. Yeah. And we even had a vendor give us a microphone to be able to use with our podcast. So we were able to give that a live try and give them feedback on it. So yeah, you never know. You just have those conversations. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. All right. Well, it's just so it's pretty important for us to announce that I had this ticker running here. So let me go ahead and put this back up here. But we are officially moving the pod.
Yes.
Yeah, if anybody saw that video of Mr. Salvucci moving those boxes, and didn't you hear? The pod is moving. Not only are we moving it, a pod's so nice, you got to hear it.
Replicate it twice.
Got to hear it twice. So we're going to be doing the first and third Tuesday of each month, and our goal is to split up some of the activities we're having. Make sure we have. We're going to do interviews, probably the third Tuesday of the month, I believe, is what we're talking about. And then the first of the month will just be us just, going over, kind of setting the stage. Here's what's going on in PAECT. And of course, in both sessions, we're going to give our infamous share of
tech tools,
tech notes. So we'll make sure we show those. And so I think right now it's important for us to take a little bit of time, all right, for you guys to talk about the regional Spark, and let's see what's going on in, let's pull it up here, in PAECT. So I got to type in bit.ly. And that's bit.ly/PAECT, all caps, events. So bit.ly, capitalized PAECT, and then lowercase EVENTS. All right, and we're taking a look here at our events coming up. All right, and I do love that the regional directors get together and they talk about this and go over our information. So we can buzz through January because we're not going back there. February is long gone. All right, let's take a look here. We have our late March stuff that's going on. So I think we still yet to have the Keystone Lead and Learn and our student privacy and cybersecurity. I believe those haven't happened. And did the Northwest already have their reflection, PETE reflection?
I'm not certain.
Okay.
I think that's coming up. We partnered with the Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English today. They had their Joy Through Learning conference, and we had an after conference meetup. We had that today. I just got back from that, so today was a little hectic. I have my co-host with me.
There you go. Yep, that would be right here. So we have, not only do we have the Glide show, but we also have the PAECT calendar. Yes. So we got the Spring Fling for Northwest coming up on the 30th, and Southeast is doing a regional meetup at 6:30 p.m. And when you click in, it'll give you more information and you're able to register. All right. And if you aren't a member, you go up in the top corner, you can go ahead and hit join, renew, and then become a free member. And sometimes you might have a nominal fee to pay in an event if you're free. And if you're a premium member at $35, you're able to join all the activities unless there's some special feature for free. But it might be something where we're having to pay a different price, and we're just asking you to help us offset that a little bit.
Yeah. And
All right.
along with that, we had the show on Otis that
Yep.
we're getting a new professional development tool. It is for premium members. They have live webinars. They have learn at your own pace. They have uh, micro badging, things of that nature. They have smaller courses, so it works out pretty well. And that's for the premium members. The other events, virtual webinars, like we've had some book studies. That stuff's free for everybody usually, whether you're a free member or a premium member.
All right, good stuff. All right, man. Well, let's see. So with co-host in hand, or with your extra co-host in hand,
Yes.
I think I'll go ahead and kick off our tech notes, and then we'll work on having you and your co-host share yours second. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to kick into our tech notes here. So I'm going to be talking about a little thing called collections. All right, so Microsoft Edge. So collections came out, and they actually have an EDU branch, and I've talked with some of the engineers in their group and talked a little bit about the program. And collections was, I know at one point there was a Google extension that was kind of similar, but it was definitely something they were looking at for people to do research and do some different things. And so I'm going to talk about exactly what they are, where are they, and how to go through creating your extensions and working with them. But like I said, this is specific to Microsoft Edge. This is not a extension or an add-in. It's just built right into the program. So when you go in the top right-hand corner of the screen, you have your menu bar, and there's a little, you got right here with your, let's see here. All right, but you have your little plus bar here, the way it shows extensions. Oh, let's see. It doesn't look like it's showing on the screen here. Let's see. Are you seeing that pop-up window pop up on the browser for?
No.
Interesting. I'm not sure why that's not. Let's see here. Let me try switching the way I'm sharing it. All right. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So let me just share. I'll go with. All right. I will just share my whole screen, move some things around here. All right. Let's see here. So I have my screen shared. All right. And I have, all right. So when you click here, there we go. Right here in the corner, when you hover over, it says collections. When I click on it, it'll show different collection that I've created. All right. And I don't like how tiny this is. So give me one more second.
Why don't you go full screen? And
yeah,
I will be right back. I have to take care of something real quick.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, that'll work. All right, so here we go. This is going to be much better. Share screen. All right, so let's get this back on track. All right, Microsoft collections were created to help with researching, students in the classroom. And honestly, for me as a teacher, I'm just pulling different things that I'm researching. I'm pulling different websites in. So over here in the menu bar, I click on this collections, and I can start a new collection. I can give it a name. So we'll say PAECT pod. All right. Once that's created, the page that I'm currently on, I can add it from here, add current page. So if I go on to a different page, say I'm here on the glide, I can go back here into my collections, and I can open it, and I can add the current page. I can also right click on the page, and here in the menu, I get add. I could add all the tabs that are open to my collection. And you used to be able to do one at a time, but they only have that for the whole thing. So just individual groups, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go into the thing, and I'm going to add current page. All right, now they're listed here. So it's a way you could dump it in. And then a great tool is if you're, end of the school day, you were doing some work for lesson planning, you have 30 tabs open, that over here on the right, you can go ahead and right click and you can say add all tabs to collections. Maybe it's a tab you had previously set up, a collection you had previously set up, or you can create a new one. So I'll do new one. And they just said add it to it. It gave it the date. So now when I go into my collections and click on that March 21st, all right, so that's set up right here. And there's 15 total web pages. When I click them, all the pages I was working on are immediately saved. So what's nice is if there was maybe I was looking for, maybe it was, so I'm doing a PD session on AI. I could click here where there's a little sticky note and I can add a note and say, use these sites in the presentation. All right, I can change the color if I want different color coding. I can change my header, my fonts if I want to adjust everything, highlight it, make it italic, make it bold. Then when I change it, it's going to affect it. When I'm done, hit save. It's down at the bottom. What's a great feature is drag and drop. So if I'm like, okay, that note's good, but I want to see it when I first open the collection, I can drag it to the top. All right, when I'm going through, if I'm like, okay, this is the next day, I open up this collection. I really want to look at this. And here I highlight those three, and then I can go ahead and I can send them to an Excel file, send them to OneNote, send to Word. I can sort them. I can say open. So if I hit open all, it opens it in a new window. And here are those three that I had selected. But definitely a cool feature where I can send it to an app to be able to have it, if I wanted to, if I'm doing notes with somebody in OneNote or I'm making a Word document as part of my, maybe my lesson plans at the end, I want to put it down. And then the cool feature is if I want to use the APA style, MLA style, or the different types of styles that when it does go into Word, when it does go into OneNote, it's going to give citations with it.
Oh, that's great.
I can say copy. And then when I do that, I can, let's see, find my window here. I can say, you know what? I need to email this to Dom. So I go into my Outlook, I click into the text body and I can paste it, Control V. And then here's what I had selected. And it just kind of spaces them out. So that way, when I send it, he'll be able to go in and click and do some actions with once I send it, that HTML formatting once it goes. All right. So that's a really cool feature. That's a really great way to be able to add them in when I'm pushing the files into the program. But what I really love for the fact is I really started using this when I was doing my class was 100% online, and I had a lot of resources being used. And at that time, again, I know we always joke about Apple versus Microsoft, versus Google and all that stuff. When Edge first came out, it was a lean, mean fighting machine. Now they've added a lot of things and it's got a little chunky. So it's, it's always like Edge, Safari, Chrome, Brave. There's all these different browsers that are always fighting the battle to be the least resource intensive. And at that time, Chrome was just bogging down my system. I had a Surface Book 2 at the time. And when I switched over to Edge, it was just a lot lighter. So I was able to have my Zoom window open. I was able to do work. But what I find every day to be very valuable is when I go into my collections, I just have one that I call Start Me Up. And you can right click on it and say open all, and it'll open it in this window. It'll open it in a new window and in a private window. So I'm going to go ahead and open it in this window. And now it's really going to bog down. And let's cross our fingers so we don't have to worry about what that says. But what it does is it actually puts it in its own tabbed group. Now I have vertical tabs open here. So some people like that. Some people may not. But now, so when I go for my day, I have my Google stuff signed in, my grade book, different Drive folders I go to. Every day I give my students a Big Nate comic on their opening side when they walk in. Our IS TV studio has a YouTube page, so we want to be able to show that. Freckle, Prodigy game, formative. So I just have all the sites I'm going to be using that day at some point just automatically open in just one click. So I literally log onto my computer, pop that open. I right click on the collection. I open all the files up. Then I go walk and say hi to my other teammates. I know when I come back, all the websites are going to be up, and then I start plugging through and starting my morning routine. But it's a very quick, clean way for me to go, because I mean, if you really sat down and think about it, you hit 5 sites every morning.
Yeah.
Going to be on your grade book. You're going to be checking this or that. Maybe you're, it's sports season. You're checking out the Steelers or something, right? I don't know why people in Western PA deal with that, but maybe there's those different sites that you're going to do. It's just part of your morning routine, and you're going to go ahead and just pop those open. And that way it's just sitting there and you don't have to worry about it. But I do know those people that they're afraid to reboot their computer. They have those tabs open 24/7, 365 days a year, and they just keep it going. And, sometimes the computers work well like that, but I just have that belief that every so often, if I can go ahead and shut my device down and give it a little breather, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, that reminds me of 2 tools before I go there, because I'm not going to say anything snarky, other than I know I've never had a browser bog down one of my Apple computers.
Oh, okay. You just went around when it crashed. Yeah.
There's a Firefox extension. I don't know if it's still active because I don't use Firefox anymore, called Morning Coffee. Jim Gates showed me that years ago, showed us as CFF coaches, where you can set up where you open up your browser certain days of the week. It pops up certain tabs that you're using that has that memory. It reminded me of that, but then it also has that wakelet functionality of I can go in and bookmark things, because I am that person where, like right now, I only have 3 tabs open on my computer, but I had about 45 before we got on the show to make sure I didn't bog down my internet. So I closed a bunch of tabs. I'm thinking, wait a second, like what, did a screenshot so I could see what was up there. But that's a great functionality, because I am one of those people that, even though I shut my computer down, I normally use Chrome, not Safari.
Yeah.
I've gone off Apple on that, but I save all my tabs. So in the morning it boots up, but you don't always need those tabs. So I've started doing them one by one, pulling them in the wakelet. Like I was at this conference. Here's what I used. I have all the tools up. If we have a show and there's a bunch, we have guests that are doing, like when we did the AI show, and we did the AI, or not the AI show, but we did the virtual reality, virtual learning webinar.
VR,
everything, the VR thing, everything we did, I put everything in one tab, in one window, all the tabs, save them individually in the wakelet. That would save me time by just, boom, pull them over as a collection.
Yep. Yeah. And the points, bottom line is you need to know Firefox, Chrome, like I said, Brave's a newer one, Edge, Safari. Some schools lock things down. Some schools don't. Some schools allow you to pull extensions in. Some schools don't. Some schools only let you pull certain extensions in. So, it's just good to know if you have any of those roadblocks. The nice thing about this, it is 100% just built in, so that we don't have to worry about it. And very similar to your profiles in Chrome. Again, this is nothing new, but when I'm on my phone, I open up Edge, those all the different things that are there, my bookmarks, and those collections are there. They jump from profile to profile. So a lot of that, it's very nice, very neat to add. The one thing that I think that they have currently that, again, it's all about leapfrogging. One guy gets it, the next guy works on building it up, would be that citation piece. That's one thing I have not seen in many of those. And in fact, just recently within the last maybe 6 builds, I think they're on build 111. They're very close to Chrome's build as far as their browser goes. But the citation piece is definitely something very new. And that's what's really great about a lot of the companies is they're hearing direct feedback from educators. And that is definitely one that teachers were asking for. We want to make sure that the kids are able to cite the sources. So if they can pull it into a collections and then dump that into a Word file, they're typing up their thing. It'll have the sites, the websites cite it the proper way. So definitely very cool.
And that's nice, because that's one thing I work with, even though I work in conjunction with the English teachers when it comes to the writing components of my class and the research components, verifying information, showing them MLA citations. I've taken them through the Purdue, the OWL site, which has citation machine and stuff like that up. And that makes it even easier. They can go through and, it'll do the work for them. It's a step easier than using citation machine or some of the other citation building apps, websites.
Yep. Definitely. And
Pretty
again,
cool.
The old phrase, there's more than one way to skin a cat. My students love when I say that. But it's important for us to know, because again, Edge came out, it was very, very streamlined, but if that starts getting, bogging down, I jump over to Chrome, if that one's working better at the time. And then I just need to know the different extensions, and then I jump over whether it's Firefox or Brave, whatever the case may be. And it's kind of the nature of our deal where it's beneficial to know a lot of the different applications are out there. So if things are blocked or, just not accessible, how can I jump over that hoop to be able to get what I need? So really good.
And even if another standpoint, you're working with someone who is using something you don't normally use. And they ask for help. You need to be able to go in and work with them and help them out. Because my district doesn't have a tech coach, an official tech coach, but they rely on the experienced teachers who have access to technology and have used technology to work with people that have hit roadblocks, have hiccups. So, it's good to keep up with things and see the different tools out there, because you never know. You may need to use them, or someone may ask you for help, and you want to be able to step in and help them.
Definitely.
Someday, though, you may learn, like, you just go to Apple, go away from the dark side. You're not going to have all these glitches and have all these bogged down computers. It'll just run
they come with gloves when you're touching that rotten fruit and all that jazz. Yeah, is that it?
Only if you're taking your hands off of certain computers, they ask you to wear gloves when you touch an Apple. They don't want to get infected.
I've asked my daughter's district. I know you're giving out MacBook Airs, but come on, can my daughters get a Surface? And I get a no. So hey, it's all good. I know. Yeah, all good. All right, Don, what do you got on the tech notes side, big dog? Okay,
I'm going back to, I think I did this in one of the earlier shows. I'm not 100% positive, but I know there's all kinds of Canva allows you to make videos. There's all kinds of tools out there. Screencastify, a lot of schools have. Animoto, especially working on the go. And a lot of kids have iPhones. It's one of the more popular phones. And some of the other phones have. I'm going to pull my screen up here at the stream. Animoto.com. This is an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
There used to be an educational account you had to update every so often. I have the free account. It's the free plan. Unlimited SD video creation, sharing all social networks. I really don't push too much out. I use my family videos. I've done stuff for school. You give limited fonts, limited colors for customizing the text and the headlines. You get 50 music tracks, which is music you're allowed to use. It's open source music you're allowed to use. You can grab pictures off your phone. Works on mobile devices. Works on computers. We did this on the fly. Taking pictures of different things. My daughter's softball league, going through Christmas, took pictures of my daughter's musical. Just did this walking around. Elwood City, took pictures, threw them into the app on my phone. This was a project we did for school. They had us going around and learning about the community. They sent us on a video scavenger hunt around the community for one of our first in-service days. And taking pictures, threw it into the app, threw some background music behind it, and it turned it into a video in a matter of seconds. It's just easy to work with, easy to use mobile or, on a computer. Anyone can use it, and it's a free tool. They put a watermark on it, but for, quick projects, because not every student has, a phone that can run. Not everyone has an iPhone. Not everyone has a phone that can handle doing videos. Some of the Chromebooks, bogged down, and they're older Chromebooks, but you can get this, up into the site. It's free for students, free for teachers. Nice. And you can create videos and projects for class, something besides your basic, PowerPoint, typing research papers, doing PowerPoints, things of that nature. You can make different types of videos, different types of content, have the kids do projects, and it's free.
Yeah.
You used to every 6 months have to update it, that verify you're a teacher, and they would move forward with it.
Well, I know when that first came out, it was just an app, and I don't even think I actually knew there was a website to go with it now. So that's great. Yeah.
So, and then you have the different templates, and I wing it. I go on the fly with them. And then they have different things you can, recommend so many people. They'll give you upgrades. They have tutorials on the site, how to get started, easy steps, how to use screen recording, webcam, grabbing things. And there's a lot of free sites out there, but this was something that's been around for a while. And, I've used it. I still use it on occasion. You grab pictures in the background, throw them into a file, and it puts them, spins them around, plays music with them. So you're not, and the music you have permission to play. So you don't have to go out and look things up on your own, because fair use is something we have to model, even if it's not being published to the internet. It's just for personal use. You get used to it, because a lot of the kids, I teach 10th grade, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I still have to, teach kids about fair use and getting permission to use photos. And that's something that we should be doing as teachers, and modeling with the kids, getting out there so it's second nature to them. Yep. And this allows you to do that.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
yeah. And I'll tell you, the transitions when you have your first, and you do, I don't know, they still call it remix.
Yeah.
Its features are $1 million. I call it $1 million switch, and it's literally a touch of a button. People think you're like the best. Like, oh my gosh, you were able to do that. And what did you use? Like Movie Maker? Were you doing Adobe design? No, I just clicked a button in Animoto, and whether it's the website, whether it's the app, it's just, it's easy. It's a great thing. So
it'll spin your pictures around, throw the music in, and the song that gives you various length songs. And, it's a neat little tool, and for the price, you can't beat it.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. Awesome stuff. Yeah. So some good tech notes there. Oh, really good. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, a lot of great things happening in PAECT. The PETE&C conference, just one of them. And now we're gearing up and getting ready for ISTE. So we do have, again, shows coming up. We'll have 2 shows in April and May and June. And of course, we'll be presenting live from a stage at ISTE. Doing the next version 2.0 of our show, and giving people a look behind the scenes as we're doing it. And really cool. So we truly appreciate all those who were able to watch tonight, and those who will be listening down the road, and all of our members intercontinental, and all of our members that are international as well.
Yes. Keep checking the website, because I know Northwest has some events coming up that aren't on the calendar yet. We're in the process of getting the details with that. And we have a Fred camp coming up. I don't have all the specific details. It's a Remake Learning event at Avonworth High School. That'll be on the website soon. And like I said, I was at the conference, today with Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English. And we were talking about doing some events, and we have some things hopefully coming on, some field trips in Pittsburgh for any region who would like to join us. We're trying to set up some things down in Pittsburgh over the summer to visit some events such as Girls of Steel, robotics, and WQED filmmakers. So we have those events hopefully coming up. We have to get firm dates with those organizations. And we have a bunch of guests who will be coming on the PAECT pod. So check back. We will have information coming up on that shortly.
All right. Well, with that, episode 22, we just want to thank you for watching and listening. And, remember,
PAECT, we are
the voice of EdTech in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
All right. Let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors. PAECT and the PAECT pod would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to our corporate council sponsors. Thank you to ClassLink, Max Cases, Go Guardian, and Bloom. Thank you to Sam Labs, DRC, and EduSpire. We appreciate all these organizations partnering with PAECT to help us to advance the education technology in Pennsylvania, which in essence helps students. We look forward to seeing you at PETE&C 2023. Thank you so much to the listeners. PAECT is a phenomenal organization because our members are amazing.